My name is Zachary Lunghammer. I am from Leduc County, Alberta, and I'm a second-year student here at St. Therese. And this Sunday, I will be reflecting on the Gospel John 15, verses 9 to 17. This Sunday's Gospel is a continuation of Jesus the True Vine from the Gospel last Sunday. And here, Jesus is speaking to his disciples of love. A love which is the fruit we are called to bear, as we are the branches on the vine being Jesus. And as the last line of this gospel passage is, "This I command you, to love one another." What I see clearly in this love is how Christ makes it so personal and chooses all of us to participate in his love. The greater love which is spoken of in this gospel is the sacrificial love. This Jesus shows on the cross, and he calls us to, or rather, chooses us to, as the gospel words it, to participate in that love. Sacrificial love bears fruit in the dying to self for the sake of another. That is what our participation in the cross looks like. The gospel continues to say that this love is radical, as it says, "Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." This self-sacrificial love is speaking about the death to self, but dying to self is not always meaning a literal death. It can be found in something simple and little in the everyday acts of life. An example could be just not taking seconds at meals so that others may have more food, or something like not hitting the snooze button early in the morning when the alarm goes off. St. Jose Maria Escriva would describe that one as the heroic minute of the day. And so it's in these everyday choices in which we are faced that we have the opportunity to die to self. When we make this choice, we are loving others, as well as choosing to love Christ in that other. As in Matthew 25:40, he said, "As you did it to the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me." Though, of course, as the gospel says, Christ chose first. And again, in that statement, "You did not choose me, but I chose you," we see how personal Christ's love is. He makes the first move. And this has been made clear since the days of Isaiah, where the Lord said, "I have called you by name, you are mine." And my first encounter of being called and feeling this personal love, I remember being in my church's youth group when we fittingly did a program called Chosen. And "You did not choose me, but I have chosen you" was this scripture verse that the program used as its foundation and kind of a motto, as those words were not always mentioned, but they formed the underlying theme of the program and granted a sense of belonging as you would go through it. And as I went through it, there was no specific moment that I remember being a huge turning point, but at the start, I saw those words and basically thought, "That's cool. It's all really." But then, by the end, when we had closed the book, finished the last lesson, having gone through the whole program, I did not only see those words again, but felt them and was touched by them and had this sense that Jesus spoke those words directly to me, personally. And I truly believed what I had heard in them. And now, reflecting after that, it was more than just, "Oh, that's cool." Now I knew it was my turn to choose and give the love back to him. Jesus himself reaches out and personally calls out each of the disciples by name. "Come and follow me." He continues to call all of us all our lives, for each of us in a unique and personal way, for he wants to love us and for us to share in that love. How we love back in whatever way of dying to self shows Jesus that we are choosing him. Now, in what ways could you choose to do that?
Like, share, and subscribe to us on YouTube and on all major podcasting platforms.